Hello everybody. In today's video we have another Canon AE-1 camera here. Now this time I've got it with a specific issue related to a winding mechanism, and I've probably mentioned it several times previously as well. This particular one has an obvious case of a broken film sprocket. So as you can see right here, it is definitely cracked. It's pretty much completely disintegrated. Other than that, the camera looks like somebody had replaced light seals on it, so we're gonna most likely just do some review of the light seals and add some extra protection here to the door. But other than that, I did a basic evaluation of the specs of this camera. Everything looks to be within norm. So what we'll have to do is just disassemble it to the point where we can get access to this sprocket. We have a replacement here. We're going to replace it and put it all back together. So stay tuned. This is probably going to be a video on the longer side, so to speak. All right, so let's go ahead and start the process. I'm going to go ahead and remove the battery first. And then we're gonna take out the bottom plate. Tighten up this ground screw. Yeah, definitely somebody was here, as you can see a lot of grease. Excessive amounts of grease. I'm not sure why it would put this grease here, but let's go ahead and remove it since we're here. Yeah, we definitely don't need grease here, because what it does and what it did, it attracted other elements, some dirt and dust that could potentially get stuck between the gears and affect the operation, or even render this camera inoperable to a certain degree. But in any case, let's just get rid of as much as we can. There we go. Just get a better access to it. Yeah, this mechanism right here, the one that I'm working on, doesn't require any lubrication. So this is not something that should really be either greased or oiled. If anything, what we need to worry about is shutter bearings on this camera, as well as mirror mechanism and A unit. Those are the areas of concern, so to speak. Let me just make sure everything is okay. Let's just proceed to the next step. Personally, I think replacing a film sprocket is the biggest job you can do on this camera. This, or Canon AE-1 or a program, or AT1, because you literally have to disassemble everything, including shutter, removing or partly removing main circuit board as well. So this is as big of a job as you can get with this model. Most labor intensive as well. Okay. All right, so the next thing I want to do is basically remove the front panel entirely. And after that, I'm going to proceed with removing or loosening up the main circuit board and then removing the shutter mechanism. Removing the viewfinder assembly. Next, I'm gonna remove the ASA dial, or actually just loosen it up. And next, I'm gonna remove it. As I mentioned previously, when you are dealing with this particular issue of film sprocket or film spool replacement, you pretty much have to remove everything on this camera. Everything has to be taken apart to get access to this little tiny piece, okay? Unfortunately, for those that work on it, but that's the nature of this repair. All right. What I'm doing now is applying a solution to soften up this leatherette so I can remove it ultimately and get access to these screws that are below this leatherette. we got 3 more wires to detach here. And a couple more screws. There we go. So now we've got our front and the back separated. Yes, somebody definitely was here before, because I see that a lot of these components have been lubricated. I'm gonna go ahead and just remove some excess oil from it now. Can't see if they lubricated these gears, so I'll put some oil here in the meantime. It is also very important to put the correct type of oil on these gears. If you put the wrong oil, let's say a low viscosity oil, that might hinder the operation of these gears, or the speed with which these gears actually operate. Looks like some of this oil also found its way into this aperture magnet. I'm gonna try to access it here without disassembling it. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this front panel away. And now let's concentrate on our shutter area here. So what I'll have to do next is remove this tripod screw assembly. Now I can actually remove the screw from the winding shaft and then get this washer out. Right. Okay, so the next thing I gotta do is desolder these points here so I can lift up the ASA contact section. For that I'm gonna use a desoldering wick. There we go. All right. So now we can actually observe our shutter mechanism here. Okay. Next step would be removing winding shaft. So basically next thing here is taking out this entire shutter assembly from the body. We got 1, 2, 3 screws that we need to take out. Let's see if we can lift it up. There we go. Sometimes you just need to use the right amount of force to get the thing out of there. Okay, so just gonna clean this up a little bit here. I'm gonna remove this plastic gear. Wrong screwdriver, wrong pliers. Let's try something bigger. There we go. Okay, and there's this screw here that I'm gonna remove. Just need to hold this in place. Okay, this will allow me to pull this holding shaft out, the one that is inside the sprocket. There we go. Okay, so now we've got everything that we need here removed. Let's just evaluate what we've got. So we have a broken sprocket. Looks like we've got the shaft. This is a spring, but we're missing one more item here, which is probably stuck here inside, but that's fine. I think I should be able to get a replacement one. So this is gonna be our new sprocket. Just gonna dust this off a little bit. So this is our new sprocket. I don't like the looks of this shaft here. I'm not gonna take a chance. I'm gonna put a replacement one here and a new washer. Okay, so that's what we'll do next. First things first, I'm gonna put this in there as well as the spring. Oops. Let's see here. Gotta be careful so it doesn't fall off. There we go. Okay, now I've got to position it where I can see where the screw will go. And the threaded area here, I've got everything lined up. There we go, nice. There we go, looks like it's all nice and snugly in there. Let's put this screw there. I'm gonna tighten it. And down below, I think we need to put the holding spring. Okay, it's in place. Now let's put the spool in the correct position. And now goes our shutter. All right, just put this gear in place. If you think it was difficult to remove it, putting it back is pain in the butt just as much. I think I was lucky enough that it went in there from the first try. Perfect. Let's just put these screws in place. There we are. Well, basically what I'm doing, I'm working my way back. Okay, I think that part is done. Let's look at the bottom. Okay, so I think we are done with this body portion of the camera. Just gonna wind it here. Yep. Looks to be doing right. Okay. So our last phase basically is putting things together. Yeah. And I do want to lubricate shutter bearings here. organize these wires a little better here so I have better access to it once it's all put together. There we go. Let's test it mechanically. Let's see if everything is engaging. All right. We are on track. All right, so let's put back the ASA assembly here. Let's see. Gotta do a couple of revolutions here. And now let's arrange this tungsten wire and put this back here. Okay, so I think everything is put back together both mechanically and electronically. I'm gonna go ahead and run a quick test just to make sure it's releasing. So like I said, I tested it before everything was working and functioning properly. All right. Perfect. Perfect. All right. Okay. Let's set this thing up. There we go. Oh, one thing I wanted to do here, just put an extra seal here. There's supposed to be one more door cushion, and let's go ahead and put one in there. There you go. All right. Perfect. I think we're all done with this camera. You know, it was a long video compared to some of the other ones, but like I said, this is pretty much a complete teardown and takes time, but I do appreciate you sticking around. So thank you, and I will see you in my next videos. Thank you.